or to stay on track. It's discipline that shapes our future, because discipline means making the choice today that pays off tomorrow. Remember, discipline, choice, pays. A message from the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Go Delta, go Delta, reliable, go Delta, dependable, go Delta, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Have you heard that Mind, Body and Soul is back?
Yes, Mind, Body and Soul is back on Sundays at 4 p.m. only on Freedom FM, hosted by the inspiring Julie Charles. This is your go-to show for thought-provoking and uplifting conversations. Every Sunday, dive into topics that nourish your mind, body and soul, from wellness tips to personal growth to deep conversations. Julie brings you the stories that inspire change and spark reflection. Don't miss out. Tune into Minds, Body and Soul on Sundays at 4 p.m. and let Freedom FM guide you to a more balanced and inspired life. Minds, Body and Soul on Freedom FM Sundays at 4 p.m.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Get the Freedom FM app now. Just search Freedom FM app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and start listening today.
the man for you.
So, you know, when you hear the song on a Tuesday afternoon, it's time for Hot Topics, St. Kitts and Nevis. Nubian, welcome.
Most definitely. It's like Shizzle. Shizzle, so when you see the shades, you know, it's something great. And when you hear the song, you know, it's something great coming. So.
Okay. So, because we have friends with us today.
Most definitely.
So, Nubian, introduce the Hot Topic.
Well, we have a very distinguished guest.
I say introduce the topic.
The topic? Hold on,
Yes.
let me talk about the guest first, man. Hold on, don't rush the brush. We have a very distinguished guest from Nevis.
Yes.
He has been inviting me
Me too.
over there to be on his show. And he has accepted our invitation. And even though we didn't go to his show, and we have to plan that soon, Jamie.
And to his farm.
To his farm. He has accepted our invitation to come on the show to discuss some issues pertinent to national development and also critical to Nevis. And so without further ado, I would allow the great to introduce himself.
Jamie, good evening, good afternoon to
Good
you, Nubian,
afternoon.
and I greatly appreciated that I'm here humbled to be your guys' guest, and good afternoon to your listening audience and viewing audience. Nubian is something else. I'm not distinguished. I'm just a farmer and a plant technician in my own way, and that's all it is. I'm not distinguished. I'm just noble
Of course
and
you
humble.
are distinguished. and we are-
He's just very humble, that's all.
Very.
Very distinguished
You
and
know?
very humble.
Yes. And we're very happy to have you
Most
here
definitely.
with us
We
this
gotta
afternoon.
reach over by him.
Yeah,
Yes,
we,
greatly appreciate
we
it.
have, but we're not supposed to say that on the air, you know, because, you know, where else we were supposed to go.
Exactly.
In St. Kitts. Where we should. But we're happy to have you here because you're an expert. I look at your statuses all the time and I'm amazed by all that you are
Right.
doing in Nevis.
It's just, well, I guess it's my environment. Well, I grew up in an agriculture sector. So when I speak on agriculture, when I speak in fisheries, animal husbandry, crop, and stuff like that, different type, traditional farming, hydroponic system, and greenhouse technology in general. But my growing up is something that was so normal for me and my other siblings, because my uncle, one was a butcher. So on Saturdays, if I'm not going to the market, then I'm going out and see with my uncle, and the same one is still a farmer. So growing up in the 80s and in the early 90s to high school, it was something normal. Some hours have chores to do and stuff like that. And if not, I'm going with my next uncle who is a contractor. So I just learned. So it was just something normal. Then in a yard with Kinsley, who still do fishing, catch gar, the guy who catch all the gas from Nevis, come down here and sell them around the island in St. Kitts. I grew up in the yard with him, so I learned to make fish pot and mensing. So it was just a normal everyday life as a youth growing up, but at the same time, I get a stipend. So you also have something in your pocket, so when you go to your friends, you can...
Right, you have
buy
something
it
to
was-
spend.
Yes, it was just nothing like saying that something difficult, but family system, working as entrepreneurs and working for themselves.
And you learned that you can make money
Yes, that's-
from this craft.
Yes, because it's family business. So it's just something that was normal with my uncle. So I learned how to butcher a goat, sheep, pig, whatever it is. So it's just like something normal. So it's just something where you're not looking at it as a youth growing up at the same time as it's something that passing on to you. But at the same time, when you're in fifth farm, fourth farm, you realize, well, you're really understanding this to a point, no, because you do mature into it, seeing it, doing it, having your own garden home, growing your food. So it just become an everyday part. You have animals, sheep to look after, goat. Well, my uncle used to have a lot of cows, horses. So the environment was just kind of mystic. So the ministry was just, you have a lot to do. You have time to waste and stuff like that. So it was cool. So now I guess I end up in this. Well, my liberty to, I always planting. So this is just second to nature. That's all it is. It's nothing, I just say as difficult as some people say family are saying hard. Like, ain't nothing named hard. In everything you do is just take time and effort.
And having the knowledge as to how
Yes.
to do it.
Yes, and the passion goes a long way with it too.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. So, Nubian, you're ready to introduce the topic?
Well,
Because you didn't introduce the topic.
But yeah, no, tell you don't wash the brush. Our guest I wanted him to introduce himself properly so everybody could understand the
Alright.
caliber of person that we're dealing with here in the
Definitely.
studios here today that could speak on a wide range of topics as it pertains to agriculture. You hear him spoke about animal husbandry. You hear him talk about fishing. Well, I want to ask him a few questions about aquaculture, but
Yes.
being on reach yet, I can leave that for a bit later. And so today we are here to discuss cannabis.
Yes.
And what's going on in Nevis per se, well, and in St. Kitts in some ways, and how we could work together to evolve this cannabis industry
Yes.
that would make it beneficial for not only for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis, but the region on a whole. You know, we talk about diversification, but I think we just throw around this word diversification because it sounds like a complicated word. So
Yes.
when you say it, you sound intelligent,
Of course.
but the action behind it is what we are missing enormously.
Yes.
And we need to do more as it pertains to the cannabis industry. I mean, if it is an industry that we are looking for to, in some ways, diversify our economy, to help find jobs, help find entrepreneurial opportunities for our people, then for me, we should treat it differently.
Of course.
We should have respect for the farmers. We should appreciate what they do because it's not a normal crop, and it's something, for me, in my mind, that could bring well-needed foreign investment and foreign funds into
Yes.
our economy. So I'd want you to explain briefly what's going on over there in Nevis.
Okay. Well, let me say first, I've worked in the agricultural sector as a plant technician for over 10 years. So last 2 years, I've left the agriculture department. I'm working for myself. I'm working along with my uncle, who transitioned 3 years ago, and helped set him back up his farm along with his daughters and stuff like that. So I'm a full-time farmer, but I do consultation to the general public or anyone if they want to when it comes to farm designs, irrigation system, pest and disease management, also when it comes to greenhouse technology and hydroponic systems and traditional and agricultural farming. So I work along with all the schools. No one having base I touch affecting Nevis generally. Also over in St. Kitts, I'll come over here and help people set up their backyard gardening and stuff like that. Once you have that interest, I will make the effort and time. Cause just being here, I know I'll get monkey damage. But it's a sacrifice you have to take. It's a balance. So I don't really complain, even though you'll get some losses, but I harvest more or less 99% of my stuff. So I don't really complain as much as other farmers. I'm full-time where others is part-time.
Right.
So I set up a 40-acre farm also while being at the department at Indian Castle. We have over 4,000 coconut trees, and the whole 40 acres, I set it up in our ways. Anyone, as international standard, where it's fully irrigation system automated, and you can drive in and drive around park, and you have all the different traditional fruit trees, shaddock. At the time when I left, and I turned it over to the ministry, we had shaddock, avocados, things that everyone said would never even grow in that area. All the experts.
I have not seen shaddock since I was a child.
And anything you can think of by the I like to plant by the hundreds, all the different types. Because the reason I did, especially coconut trees, we have a coconut industry going on here, well, the importation of coconut jelly. And yet we're not even planting, and it's always best. Now I sell jelly, because I've been planting a long time. So I cut every day. Tomorrow morning I'll cut jelly to sell fresh.
About how much would you harvest tomorrow?
Well, I cut like maybe 200 each day.
Right.
That's nothing for me to sell in a couple of hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're just really not planting. So if I got to sell, I've been selling for the last 6 weeks, so I'll have some trees coming. But it's just not enough. If you're going to sell jelly every day, we really have to really plant a lot. We need at least 100 acres or more, 200-300 acres of jelly trees if you want to.
Just to supply the local demand?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it's just that high.
Do you export to St. Kitts as well, or this is just in Nevis?
I just ain't got enough to export anyway.
So this is just in Nevis?
That's just where I sell it by my business.
Wow.
Yes, I have a stand. The shop is right there, and I just the general public see me set up and sell the jelly water fresh daily. So it's just not enough. So that's why I set up the Indian Castle Fruit Tree Orchard with the Malaysian dwarf and the different varieties. Because you're still gonna need coconut for when you're doing pastries. Everything is imported, and we have the land space, we have the expertise, and if there's one thing we can do here in St. Kitts Nevis, we can plant. So we just need the investment. Once you talk to the farmers or any agro-processors, fisher folk, once I say agriculture, I just don't mean crop farmers.
Right.
In general, just a general term, I mean all those that is a part. And everyone, whether it's a carpenter, your doctor, everything around you, but you're not seeing it as agricultural product because it's in a different farm. The stable, the computer is really everything, but you're not thinking like that.
Definitely.
Yes. And the cannabis itself also, I was a technician who traveled to Southern University with the federal government, with Garfield Alexander, Jeffrey Hanley, and Samuel I was chosen as the technical person. And also was there the same time to Avery Island with the Hot Pepper project artist, so I was a part of all that.
Okay.
I doesn't talk about it much, but yes, but I was a technician for the Tabasco sauce and stuff like that also too.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic.
So did a lot of training in Morocco when it comes to soil science and nutrients and irrigation system design, and then also in Padang, Indonesia, when it comes to coconut and stuff like that. Yes.
And so you see why we introduce you as the distinguished expert.
Right,
Yes.
exactly. Right, so what is the current state of play with cannabis in Nevis? I've been hearing
Yes.
seen a few posts on Facebook, hearing a few things from farmers over there. What's going on?
Well, in Nevis, it seemed like, I'm not sure, but there's almost every month or something where someone is being charged for cannabis, especially what is sometimes, some might have even one trend is big, they'll still go with it. So I don't think it have anything to do with the amount of trees. I think it have to do with the police, them just knowing they can get away with it. So they'll just come take your trees and they have it as a joke. They'll say, well, the trees are too big, and they just go with it. It's not like, and then depending on who you are, then they might charge you. So my thing is, if we're moving into an industry, I guess education is something we really got to fall back and encourage, because we have a lot of talent, and growing cannabis, normally how you grow it amongst yourself, if you're going to go into an industry when it comes to medicinal, it's really scientific. So it's a total growing system you have to be dealing with now, because then you have people, you have to deal with monitoring,
Right.
you have to know what type of chemical you're taking, records. So if you're going to move in there somewhere along this line, scientifically, you need training. It's very, because nothing really is in place when it comes to growing the cannabis. You can't, if you want to go to 6 trees, you still have to go to ecclesiastic area, which is under Jeffrey Hanley. And I personally had called the office to speak to see what's going on with there, and there was not even a conversation held at that time. Then there was not even an office in Nevis, which this will fall under Eric Evelyn. So both parties, the medical cannabis is still different to the cannabis that you'll use in your home just for your personal use is under 2 different heading. And that is where the confusion tend to happen. And even if you're going to move to the medicinal part of it, you're still going to need training, you see, and that aspect still not even happened yet. But we have a unique chance of doing something that is niche, because we're looking at all who have done it before, use their mistake as being wise, and just blend yours to suit your people. I'm for one who just see cannabis as soursop, bananas, and everything else.
Just a plant.
Yes, and in everything you do is how you use it too. You can overuse water like anything else. So it's just consumption and understand the reason why you're using things and stuff like that. And it's beyond the smoke, because I know people who use cannabis and don't even smoke it or anything like that. They use it as teas, and even people over my, as I say, this is the environment I grew up in, so it was just normal, it's nothing to hide and stuff like that. And it's not like because I use cannabis, my children going to be smoking it and stuff like that. You see what I mean? You just educate your children about stuff and these things, and that is how I go about doing things. So I don't hide from and I have all girls, so I don't hide. And you can ask them anything, and then they'll tell you it's medicinal, but they won't have a conversation unless they're an adult. You can't question my children them without my presence. So they know how to represent themselves in a sense like that. So I don't have issues like that. But the cannabis thing is a lot of heavy charges going on in Nevis, $18,000, $15,000, and it's farming. You have to take your time to set a plant and to nurture it, and you better have people growing a plant than to out there doing something that is going to be not productive within the society.
Right.
So you better to encourage these people, because it's work. Growing cannabis take time, and it's more delicate than growing tomatoes, because then you still got to deal with all the pests, all the fungus, you understand, all the different diseases going to affect most plants, tomatoes, cucumbers, they're going to affect the cannabis plant. So safety is everything. I always preach safety, safety, safety. You cannot compromise safety. So along that line, it need more public relation going on when it comes to the cannabis plant. 'Cause it's still taboo, and it's not something you're going to just come out your system where all of a sudden because the government going to say, no, it's non-poisonous. Because they move it from a dangerous drug to non-poisonous. So if it's non-poisonous, there shouldn't be really an issue when it comes to saying, well, they're pulling it up. It should. Saying it is not happening. Because I was at a meeting 2 weeks ago with the Cannabis Authority where they had some running St. Kitts the following week in Nevis. And the consultant, Dr. Emmanuel from UWI, the University
right,
campus.
The Jamaican, right.
Yes, Mona campus, the Jamaican Michael Emmanuel. He met with the High Command here in St. Kitts, the commissioner where they spoke, and he asked the question, and you can play I guess you can play the tape, and then we continue the discussion from there. I mean, why people in Nevis not getting locked up as in St. Kitts.
Okay, let's play the tape.
So it's important now to sort of demonstrate that you are moving away from that prohibition. Like when I met with the police high in our command, the issue was raised that why is Nevis being targeted a lot more based on police arrests and convictions for her versus mainland St. Kitts, because that is an observation and trend which is observed, and so was police on Nevis don't really have much in terms of to do compared to St. Kitts, right? But the commissioner has made it clear that it needs to be a level playing field, and the education aspect of the officers need to understand that in order for this industry to move forward, a relaxed approach must be taken. Other countries have actually brought about amnesty periods. So the inception stage, the first 2 years on amnesty, meaning that no person can be arrested in terms of cultivating cannabis, right? So it gives you a period to be able to grow and make some money and then come in and apply for your licenses.
Okay, so basically he's saying that the police on Nevis, they don't have much to do.
Yes.
And that's the reason for
harassing the citizens.
For lack of a better terminology.
But why would the commissioner speak like that when he's the same commissioner for both islands? That don't make any sense. So that's the whole point where I have an issue with.
No, there definitely seems to be a disconnect somewhere, because I see the press releases put out by the police force, and I question, Nubian could tell you, I send them to you.
Right.
Because many times we're asking, like, what's really happening? Now, in my mind, and this is my opinion, it makes me wonder if there is a crackdown on locals to prevent them from being involved within the industry that we're trying to build out. Is it that we're trying to build out an industry for people of more means? Is it that we're trying to build out an industry? I don't want to use the term foreigners because,
Yes.
But what are we trying to do? Are we trying to empower the people who fought for cannabis to be decriminalized? Or are we still using it as a tool to target those same people?
Of course.
And those are the questions that come to my mind when I see this happening.
Yes. You see, my thing is, if we're going to be moving into an industry, as I say, we can be niche, because if you have, the thing about agriculture, the beautiful thing about you don't know, it's not gender bias. So you go your flows, so you'll be a good planter same way.
Yes.
Once you're disciplined to follow the guidelines, and you can benefit you too. So if you can have your local growers working together or working at individual of the choose to, being part of this industry, because they know to go to plant, you just need guidance to meet the appropriate requirements so that you can export these products or the flow itself. Well, let your people benefit most. If they choose to want to partner, I can't tell an individual to do. You see what I mean? That is up to their choice, but at least there should be one who should be leading the industry. and it's the right thing to do.
But do they have the capacity to lead the industry, though? Because I'm seeing some fees
Yes.
attached to it.
Of course.
The industry, and many, let's just be frank, many
Yes.
local people don't have that kind of money.
I
Well-
wouldn't even say many locals
I'd
don't
say-
have the money. I don't think that any cannabis farmer
Yes.
right now can afford those sort of fees.
Yes. Which
And-
one especially you mean? Which one the fees?
Well, the cultivation fee
Yes.
is okay enough
Yes.
for local,
Yes.
but your cultivation license
Yes.
does not permit you to sell
Of course.
anywhere.
Definitely, yes.
Then there's a transportation license.
Yes.
Now, how much sense would it make for you to plant up a whole bunch of stuff? You got a cultivation license. You plant up a whole bunch of stuff, but you can't transport it from one place to the next because you need a next license, which is about $25,000.
Of course.
But how much is it? 5?
But it shouldn't
Five?
have to be like
oh,
that.
how much of it is?
Yes,
Sorry, I
yes.
call a figure. I'm
Of
sure if it's
course,
that.
yes.
No, then the dispense license
Yes.
and the processing license.
Ladder license.
They-
Ladder license.
They are called. They are $200,000, $100,000.
Of course.
Those sort of fees. No, let's say I don't want to farm.
Yes.
I want banky farm.
Of course.
And I want to dispense. I gotta be able to
Definitely.
hand over
Yes.
$100,000 and
Definitely.
$200,000 respectively. Now, where would I get that sort of money from? Or if you want to say you want to go and you want to sell because
Yes.
that's your passion and you're being in it for
Of
a while,
course.
it's very, very costly. Now, it speaks further to the value of the industry. I know it's a multi-billion-dollar industry,
Yes.
but I feel as though in my heart that we should be allowed a grace period in which we could evolve from hiding
Yeah, of
and
course.
going 4 and 5 trees in your yard or even going 20 trees on a hillside
Yes.
to acclimatize with what's going on here. And we are allowed the first bite of the apple.
Of course.
Because the foreigners, as Jamie might not want to mention,
Yes.
they have the resources.
Definitely.
They have the expertise. They have
And by
the
foreigners,
money.
we don't mean CARICOM nationals, people from the Caribbean. We mean foreigners.
Yes.
Correct.
Not people like us.
Right.
course.
So they have all the resources
Yes.
necessary to set up shop.
True.
Now, because St. Kitts is small, and we generally get like 1 million tourists a year, it is easy for 2 companies or even 1 company to step in our territory
Of course.
and dominate the market completely. Because what I personally would want for our youths is to not be fighting between, well, Banky, Nubian, Peter,
Yes.
Paul, Jane, John. There is a whole tourism sector out there that could generate millions of dollars for our people.
Yes.
You know, and that is where I would want our cannabis industry to be geared to, providing medicinal grade cannabis to the foreigners that come in so that we could truly diversify our economy, take our youths off the street, get them involved in something productive, get them involved in something that they could leave for their children. I mean, in Canada, in America, they have people who leave the cannabis farm to the children, leave the
Of
cannabis operation to the children, leave the dispensary in the will for the children. Well, how come we can't get that there done around here?
But not only that, we have had local Kittitians and Nivisions go to work in Canada
True.
in the cannabis industry.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Of course.
So for me, that legitimizes the
Yes,
industry.
definitely.
Because if we're sending people to assist on farms in Canada, why we can't do it here?
Yes.
Why is it that, and I'm asking, I'm not necessarily saying that, the police are acting out of turn, but
Yes.
why is it we can't plant here without police coming and saying the tree is too big and pulling up the tree?
Right. I believe that because if I see it, the ministers of government seeing it,
Of course.
the high command seeing it,
Yes.
everybody's seeing it.
Yes.
Because if me and see Jamie gonna send it,
Of course.
or somebody else gonna send it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And it should ring a bell and say something is going wrong. Something, if our people are still getting locked up, or
Yes.
if our people are still getting charged, then something is
And
definitely
the fines
wrong.
seem astronomical to me.
Yes.
I don't know how you feel about that.
We see because one of the thing, because yes, you can, Jamie, you can grow a tree. You can say you have 6 trees, 10 trees. Your tree might not pass 2 feet or 3 feet. But one of my tree might be 6,
Well,
7 feet, 8 feet.
My tree will probably pass that because, you know.
There's a plan.
you know you're doing. You know you're doing. Yes, but
Yes.
Just hypothetical. But then that one tree that I grow might have a half pound or a pound of weed, and then I can bag up my weed into 1 ounces, because 16 ounces in a pound. So you got 16 ounces, and that's only 1 pound. Then I got other trees, so next to I end up with what, 50, 60 ounces, and then you happen to come and you say, well, we're doing all this weed, but they come out for the tree that I grow.
The one tree.
Yes,
Yes.
there are 2 trees, so but they
Yes.
don't understand that aspect because when you pass, because weed, if weed is not cured properly and saved properly, it spoils easily,
Right.
especially from oxygen. So you got to make sure it's sealed in the right type of containers that is food safety and stuff like that. So instead of having it in a one large package where if you need to take out, you keep opening it all over and over. So it's a process. It's like post-harvest.
Yes.
Just like tomatoes and
Seasoned
bell peppers,
peppers.
anything
Must
else,
be stored
you have
properly.
not to store properly and not store some cold crops with other crops, because it's just going to mess it up. So as I said with cannabis, you have to make sure everything is packaged properly out of the way of light and in darkness and preserve, you understand, the compound and stuff in it. But those who are against it in trying to think about, well, how you got Alice in, why he got holy for herb.
Yeah, but Banky, at some point, we're going to have to change our mindsets.
Yes.
Because the people who are against it
Yes.
cannot be involved with building out the industry. There seems to be something wrong
Right.
with
But
that.
that's what it is.
Right?
That's what
but
we're against.
No, but because is this something that we are going to do?
Yes.
Or is it something that we are not going to do?
Yes.
Because for a long time, this has been a talking point, just like the diversification of the economy.
Correct. Of
course.
And, you know, the sustainable climate, sustainable.
Yes.
Sustainable island state.
Yeah.
Yes.
We like to use words.
Right.
And we like to have fantastic plans.
Of course.
But a lot of times we fall short in implementing.
Yes.
No. I don't know why it's taking so long, but we're not seeing the kind of momentum as it relates to the cannabis industry. So are we doing it, or are we just talking about doing it?
Yeah, well, remember, we're still living in a Christian society.
But that don't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's why it's not moving.
I
to.
have
But
never seen anything in the Bible against
I
cannabis.
know that, but when over nearly 100 years, you've been having a program where their program from since in the 80s with Reagan, the war against drugs, and the drugs is not just cocaine. The drugs is that cannabis is a high level at the same.
Right.
So all of a sudden now, 80 years later, you're gonna come and say, okay, well, when the world moving towards it, the bigger countries, Amsterdam, Canada, they're studying the plant, they're patenting the seeds, they're doing all the different nutrients and growing materials and stuff like that. Now they don't master all that and put everything in place. And now you're going to have to seek for their stuff to good cause. And so we have to make our thing niche.
So are we
Yes.
going to fall into the trap where when those bigger countries are able to export, we start to import here?
That's where it
That's
is.
where we're going
Well,
to.
for me,
Yes.
it's
Because
a bit.
that seems like
Yes.
where we're heading.
But it's a bit. The question is a bigger question for me personally, and I'm gonna talk about cannabis and slide off of cannabis a bit. Now, Antigua done gone far ahead with cannabis. Jamaica is miles ahead in cannabis. St. Vincent,
Well, St.
Barbados,
Vincent was always ahead.
Yes.
and all those other countries. Now, the question is, what are we doing? We drag the foot and we use it like a political football. We talk about it coming close and we try to do a little thing and we shuffle with foot and we do a little break dance and we moonwalk in the same spot. And at the end of the day, it's just like a little gimmick, a little trick we're trying to work on people. Now, look at agriculture on a whole. We had a shrimp farm. I spoke about it at the press conference. We had a shrimp farm over in Connery producing shrimp. It closed down. Those are ways and means is what we could involve our youth in agriculture. I mean, if we when you look at our shrimp import, shrimp alone, we could give 5 or 6 youths the opportunity to own shrimp farms. As I said at the press conference, aquaculture in 2025 was $300 billion. I mean, we ain't trying to get 50% of that, we ain't trying to get 20% of that, we ain't trying to get 10% of that, we ain't even trying to get 5% of that. Even if we target for 1%, you know how much money that there is?
You see,
that's almost 30 billion, $30 million or something like that there. So how can we involve our youths in aquaculture? How can we successfully involve our youths in agriculture in general, animal husbandry? Because you spoke about it just now. It's a hobby for most animal farmers. It's a hobby. They work, whether for the government or in a private entity, and in the afternoon they let out the sheep go and roam and come back in.
No, they let them out in the morning so they could roam all day.
And then they lock them up.
Destroy people's plants.
And they lock them up in the evening. Yes. How can we involve our youth?
Become serious about this.
And these industries have the potential to provide employment, to provide monies directly in farmers' hands and their families, because our farmers, when they're done plant, and our vendors in the market, they go and they spend the same money in our economy. They go to Rams, they buy from a tray, they give their children some money to go to school. So the money is all around the economy. But we are not serious at all.
Even when you look at flowers, because a lot of times people say, well, Jimmy, when you're wearing flowers, they can't eat. But how many times you buy flowers a year? They're now on sale in the supermarket, right? And flowers are imported. Why are we importing things that can be grown right here easily? Because we don't see agriculture. We don't see the avenues,
the potential. We don't see the potential because Banky.
You think we know?
Banky, hold on there. Banky may want to cut you off. Banky, if you look at it, something as simple as ornamental fish.
Of course, big business same way too.
Big business. We're right next to America. How can I know this really, really good ornamental fish farmer in Connery?
Yes.
Lots of different varieties. He got to go Trinidad.
Yeah.
How can Nubian empower him to grow out his business and about 5-6 others like him? I saw a documentary talking about ornamental fish farming in Jamaica, and they got the same problem. They do export to America, but they're not consistent enough for them to take them seriously. And it ain't about having one big mega farm that's shipping all this stuff out there. I want to have about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 farmers growing these fish. So by the time Amerijet heading up with about 50,000 fish from St. Kitts. And you got to be serious. You have to be serious about agriculture, one. You have to be serious about providing those sorts of meaningful opportunities for your people. You got to be serious about using that word diversification of the economy.
Yes.
You got to be able to structure agriculture in a way in which our people benefit and benefit tremendously from agriculture.
Not just that, but we have to be passionate. We have to want it.
Exactly.
Right? And I get the impression we like to talk about things.
Talk too much.
But we don't really want them because, Banky, you were saying that we know the numbers.
Of the numbers is there, and we have the technician there. You have people like Stuart Laplace.
Yeah.
Guru, when it comes to hydroponic system, I mean, aquaculture.
Yeah.
If you eat his fish that he have over in Sandy Point, you can't tell the difference that the fish out of the seawater, that the fish that he weigh in his property. He have mastered, he have read all kind of books and stuff like that. But you see, sometimes the king not gonna earn in his own castle.
Yes, unfortunately.
So what is needed here is resources and continued training. That's all it is, because the numbers are there.
It's a bit more than resources.
Yes.
It takes people who are passionate and serious about building out our agriculture sector and all the different sectors. But just that today we find ourselves talking about agriculture.
Yes.
But you have to be serious because we have a lot of our youths out there with machete and rake and step and on PEP and on parks and beaches, and nothing wrong with making an honest living.
Of course.
But most of those people could be diverted into the agriculture sector that could bring a strong sense of food security to our people. And you have to be serious, and the seriousness comes from the top first. And most of the times, as I always say, we put the square peg them in round hole that don't come and put out that effort, don't come and put out that passion and try to establish parameters for our farmers, try to provide them with opportunities, go out and find grants for them, go out and, I mean, if you look at what in Australia and in New Zealand, the amount of mussels that they produce in the rivers and other places, I mean, it's crazy, the amount of millions of dollars that they make. And as I say, Maine trying to take 90% of it.
Of course.
Let's get 2% of that market, 1% of that market. Could do 5 or 6 of our farmers here well. Imagine, even if we try to aim for $1 million US and you get 4 farmers, that's $250,000 US. That's over 600,000 EC dollars a farmer can be making annually.
Jamie,
but we keep dropping the ball.
We're too wise for this. We should not be having this conversation when it comes to agriculture. We have proven to the world hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
When it comes to growing sugarcane, tobaccos, cotton, coffee, whatever is grown within. The indigenous name speaks of both islands. You understand? Water and fertile soil. And the history, if you look around us, all the monuments are there. The cathedral, the Brimstone Hill, the fortresses are there. Is what we have, is we build the outside world, you know. Is the soil. Is
but
the
we
environment.
have to believe that.
No, it's there already, not believe it.
But
You're the owners now.
Yeah, but we first have to know that.
But we see
right?
it.
And we're not teaching our children that.
So it's
so
us
we
to
are
blame.
looking at this
Yes.
as something foreign,
Yes.
as something outside of who we are.
That's the whole point.
Right?
Yes.
We don't teach our children that we did this. We
Yes.
created these things.
Right.
Yes.
So many times people, and it's the same inferiority complex that we've spoken about for the past few weeks. So we go to meetings and we come and we're like, you know, we had to sit down in the corner and, you know, not make too much noise. But we need to take up space.
No, just trust your people to and invest in your people. You have the best resource. You have your land and your people, which is the talent.
Exactly.
We have the same brain cells, you know. We go to the same universities, the same colleges. There's nothing they're doing outside there that we can do here. We can do it better because we have the perfect environment where we can grow food all year round.
Exactly.
I've sat in so much meetings under so much different governments and stuff like that. And with training, and every time you hear the trainers them speak about, we are wasting time. And then they'll point down to the port and say, all those container boats should be going out with food. I speak with people from, just the other gentleman who work in Washington, D.C. office, who he's an advisor to the U.S. government. They need our food, you know. We just call the FDA will come here and train our people to export food, T-Bush, our local drinks, whatever it takes, free of cost. It's our leaders have to ask. We just have to ask, you know, and they will come. All the other countries that exporting to the U.S., they're not special.
So the question is, why aren't we asking?
Well, that's the whole point.
Do we feel like we're not good enough to ask?
Well,
okay, let me say
probably
this.
We're going to the meetings for the wrong reason.
Let me say this.
We're going for the snacks.
I'll say this.
Because they can't understand it.
When we was at Southern University to have a meeting, upon starting the meeting, 2 gentlemen was there from the FDA. You understand? And they ended up sitting in the meeting with us when they were leaving for almost 2 hours. And they were blown away after our presentation. They said, we will come, just give us a call, we'll come down, set up everything, but we're not calling. The help is there, you know, and it's not going to cost you nothing. Because trade is something the U.S. want to trade with us when they get to your T-Bush, your mango leaves, whatever it is, your flour, they want it. It's not even your mangoes, it's just harvesting the mangoes at the right time before they have the fruit fly or the weevil and stuff like that when they're full and not wait till the ripening.
That is mind-boggling.
Yes, the information is there.
Jamie,
it's not difficult.
Jamie, I knew this years now. How you think Mia Motley got $170-something million in grants for her people? And we just get loans all the time. It's because our leaders, they go out for the wrong reasons. We could have gotten a lot of help in our agriculture sector from Cuba, places like Cuba, Mexico,
we don't
Chile.
want any help from Cuba.
But we don't ask.
Yes.
I was trying to investigate the other day how to put a 20-acre avocado farm together.
Yes.
And I was surprised with the amount of people that saying, well, you know, you could get help here, you could get help here, you could get clones here, you could get grafted trees here, you could get this there. But as you rightly said just now, they're not our leaders, and me ain't gonna put this on Labour, me ain't gonna put it on
course.
anybody,
Yes.
but our leaders in general,
Yes.
we don't go out there and fight for our people.
You know, there's a mindset attached to, there's a stigma attached to agriculture.
Yes.
People see farmers as not successful people. Let's face it, and that is why. That is the root cause.
Caribbean farmers.
Yes.
Some, not all. You see.
No, not all,
Of
but
course,
generally
hold-
speaking,
Carib-
right?
Yes,
Car-
yes,
and
That
it's,
is how we look at it.
it's
Yes.
only exists in the
Right?
Caribbean like
so
that.
when we want to put funds in an industry, we put it in tourism.
Yes.
We build hotels.
Of course.
And we don't see the connections.
You still gotta eat.
Exactly.
Still gotta
And they
eat.
still have to come. They still
And they
want to
take
get
up
the
your-
flowers.
They want
They
the best
still
land
want
too.
exactly.
They want
But
the
we
best
don't
land.
see
Because
that.
you see that it's not visible, because if they want a mango and it's not mango season, they go to a supermarket and get a mango. If they want pear and it's not a pear season, they go to the supermarket and get a pear, so they won't see it, they won't feel it. But back to the point that you just made, and it is true, because most of our youths look up and they say an engineer, and they say Nubian is an engineer, and Nubian successful, Nubian
Yes.
got a big white truck, and Nubian have a house, and Nubian have this, and Nubian have that. No. Compare me to a farmer. A farmer have the possibility to make 4 or 5 times the amount of money that I could even think about
Of course.
generating.
Yes, true.
I mean, when you look at onions,
Yes.
when you look at how much a 5-acre onion patch supposed to give you.
Yes, each acre is up to £35,000.
Okay, cool.
Of each
So
acre.
that's £35,000 by how much? $150 or $2?
Or for the onion?
A pound
well,
onion.
Well, wholesale is going to be like $3 a pound.
$3 a pound,
Yeah,
and
wholesale.
that's $90,000
Yes,
per acre.
of course.
And if you're doing 4 acres, 4 nines are what, 30 something, 35, 30, 36, 36?
Yes.
So that's $360,000 for 4 acres of onion.
3 months crop.
3 months.
And they
In
can last for 8 months. when
Exactly.
properly.
But there is no proper structure to agriculture. Poor farmers exist only in the Caribbean and certain areas of the Caribbean, because you got places like America, you don't have farmers, and this is something that we need to teach our farmers. We don't have in America. They don't have farmers out there growing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 crops. They're growing watermelon, pumpkin.
Monocrop.
A farm out there might grow 2 crops the most, because over time you get to be an
You master-
expert
you master it. You
and a
master the crop.
master in
Yes.
those 2 crops. So you find a farm
less
out
pest
there
and disease too.
growing peanuts,
Of course.
and he grow peanuts year in, year out, year in, year out. He has his market. He has a certain amount of consistency. He has credibility with those people, and he has his entire market. So he knows once he harvests, his stuff goes to these places, and he gets his money at the end of the day. And he in turn invests in his children, and they go out and they study agricultural studies that. Whether it be forestry,
Of course.
whether it be animal husbandry, that come back and he invests in his children, and they come back and invest in the farm and
course.
make it as big and as successful as possible, because as soon as daddy ready to retire,
They take over.
it's mine.
It's a business. That's
And
what-
my
that's what it's
children
supposed
on
to
my
be.
farm, and by the time they
Definitely.
come up,
Yes.
I leave it to them.
Yes.
And that is the kind of structure you want here. I made some calculations the other day on what limes could
course.
bring,
Yes.
and lemons,
Yes.
avocado,
Everything.
those sort of food crops,
Yes.
you know? And we could make very successful farmers here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
What do you see with
How much
that?
you think that St. Vincent and the Dominica boat just leave from St. Kitts with
Oh,
on a weekly basis?
All the money from here.
Exactly. Why 2 fellas from McKnight, 2 from wherever, 2 from in Sandy Point, 2 from over here, 2 from over there can't start doing food farming? Why we can't have others doing animal husbandry? Why we can't provide those markets? And if we can't find it here, why can't the mechanism for agriculture
Yes.
go out and find those markets regionally or even internationally? Because when you look at stuff like trout or tilapia, there's a big market for it in the USA.
Yes.
So why we can't, even though St. Kitts people don't really like tilapia, why we can't find those markets for our people out there in the USA and in other countries that like the tilapia, and we just produce to export? And that's where the passion comes in.
But even just even your local fish and your local lobster and your conchs and stuff, we're just not even harnessing enough for just just for us to sustain ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you need bigger vessels, longer time out the fishing and stuff like that. So the whole sector itself just need
A revamp.
just a revamp.
Yeah,
but it's not
restructuring.
we know better, you know. It's just choices. Because those who run in the sector,
I don't know if I
it's
agree with you,
it's
because
choice.
if we know better, why aren't we doing
It's
better?
a choice. They choose not
so
to.
we choose not to empower our people.
Yes.
That's the dream. Is just a simple. I see things what it is. You know, I work in this sector. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so someone like me is like who I was told like I expose in the system because I'm too committed, and even if they say something that will work, I make it work.
Exactly.
Okay, I manage a 40-acre farm with 6 people. How is that possible? Each acre you need to at least 2 to 3 workers, and everyone who come there from all over. Where's the workers? Kind of looking for the workers, but they see the worker, but they want to know where they're hiding. But that's just the workers, 4 male and 2 female at the time, along with myself. I'm not
How much
sitting-
acres? 40?
40.
You're right.
And every acre is, so so much people should be on that. I'm not there no more, so the project there, just got no accountability. I hold myself accountable because it's not my, it's taxpayer, it's our money, it's taxpayers' money. And it's the right thing to do because is my name going to be attached to it. And then it's how you deal with the workers too. Anybody can lead, you know. Because 3 of us in here, we have different personalities, different homes. So I got to deal with you accordingly. I can't show favoritism between you and Nubian. And not because you're female, I'm going to treat you
Differently.
Nah, I have sisters, 6 sisters. I'm not treated any different between them. So the bias thing should not work. You treat everybody on a professional level. And you make everybody inclusive. I just don't make all the decisions because I'm in charge. You would know who is in charge once someone in the job. Because we consult. They have the input so everybody feel a part of the process. And they feel a part of something. And that's just how it is. So you have to have accountability, and that is the problem that I find within the civil service. I studied the civil service working inside there and see what goes on. There's no accountability. And there's so much favoritism. And then people to political. Oh, it's my government, it's me, this. We can't look at things like that because down the road affecting all of
And
us.
then we know that Banky has the knowledge.
Yes.
And we don't go to Banky because we feel Banky supporting XYZ.
Yes, and that's not
Nubian has the knowledge, and we're like, no,
Yes.
not Nubian, because
Nubian
Nubian.
is a PAM.
Yes.
So we're going to sideline him. But at any rate, I'm watching the time,
And
a few people might want to call in. So,
Okay,
Jamie,
so let's
open
take
the line.
Let's take a commercial
Because
break.
people
and
want to
we'll
talk
be
to
right
Banky here in St. Kitts, you know. People want to talk to
right
Banky.
back.
Freedom FM 1065.com.
Every day we're faced with choices to spend or to save, to delay or to stay on track. It's discipline that shapes our future because discipline means making the choice today that pays off tomorrow. Remember, discipline, choice, pays. A message from the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Go Delta, go Delta, reliable, go Delta, dependable, go Delta, Delta. If you live here in St. Kitts and your tank on E, there's only one place that you should be. Maybe driving in Nevis and you need some fuel. Go straight to Delta. Don't be a fool. Get your cooking gas fast. All petroleum needs ULSD. Everyone in the region is shouting, Go Delta. Premium gasoline in a fully stocked C-store. So there's only one place you should be. Delta Petroleum, baby.
Have you heard that Mind, Body, and Soul is back?
Yes, Mind, Body, and Soul is back on Sundays at 4 p.m. only on Freedom FM, hosted by the inspiring Julie Charles. This is your go-to show for thought-provoking and uplifting conversations. Every Sunday, dive into topics that nourish your mind, body, and soul. From wellness tips to personal growth to deep conversations, Julie brings you the stories that inspire change and spark reflection. Don't miss out. Tune into Minds, Body, and Soul on Sundays at 4 p.m. and let Freedom FM guide you to a more balanced and inspired life. Minds, Body, and Soul on Freedom FM Sundays at 4 p.m.
What if your money did more than sit in an account? What if it built dreams, supported families, and empowered futures? At St. Kitts Credit Union, we're more than a financial institution. We're a family that believes in your potential, rooted in people helping people. Enjoy competitive savings rates and low-interest loans for mortgages, vehicles, education, and more. Need security for you or your loved ones? The Family Indemnity Plan and Loan Protection Insurance give your loved ones peace of mind, whether you're saving for school, building your business, or planning for tomorrow. SKCU is here for you. It's not just about banking, it's about belonging. Contact us at 465-2272 or any of our branches. Learn more online at www.skccu.com. Become a member today and be a part of something greater.
Get the Freedom FM app now. Just search Freedom FM app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and start listening today.
Back with Hot Topics right here on Freedom FM. The phone lines are going off, but if you want to join in on the conversation, the numbers to call in are 662-1065, 465-6474, or 465-0546. We're going to make the calls short and sweet.
Yes.
We're not talking all afternoon this afternoon because many people want to get in on this hot topic. So let's take the calls. Hello, you're live.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I've been listening to you talking about agriculture. And who serious, some who not serious. But this Labour government where we got here, not serious. After we got gone, as people say, I born 1954. I born on an estate. We thought white man was. White man never do a lot of things. I talked to Jazadi about agriculture. The most food plant in St. Kitts was Division. You understand? When I was growing up. You understand? And if the government had serious with food, one cross by the bypass road, Kim Collins Highway, next to the training garden and the prison garden, you see a thing fenced up the Lagavan Park? That's
yes.
There. That's having food. When Mr. Astafan was in office, you take the estate, paying house where I used to get paying, said they're going to turn it into a storeroom. They said they're going to ship tomato. You understand? The sugar closed, they closed that. I say, where they got down in our park. Who much more park are we want? Who much stadium are we want? When I just got just a while ago, this morning, I what that I said to myself, these man here, not talk about no food, man. They're not thinking about food, man. They're not thinking about food. They're not a fool, are you? They're not thinking about food. They ain't thinking about food. I know that. I need my estate. That's when Ricardo wasn't there. When I look at the estate, Ricardo was the next man who still lived there named Mr. Brown. Before Ricardo come to Ricardo, then come from down Estridge. I worked there when I was 15 years. And I stopped and I went back. I used to tell music. Then I went back in the sugar cane before it closed. And they had a 14-acre ground. They had water tank, everything in there. I said that they might do food, and there's different section of food. You understand? And now you got car park up in the lime like they're going to lime like I want park it. That shouldn't happen. They got to treat the lime and that was about going food. They say need must a water table. So what supposed to plant the need must? What can plant? Watermelon, all you can eat watermelon. Already a watermelon. I know about all them cane field. So me pavilion go up. I work in them. We part the industrial side. I work in a cane field all day. All the places paddy sugar cane. We pass Central Bank. They had cotton there. We used to get sweet oil, local sweet oil. The factory still over Kayan. A place named Spooners. All that there we just we had salt. We had natural things. No, we ain't got nothing. What do you think the board come in there? In Manawa come in there? To go over cricket there? To tell the Caribbean leaders them how to run them country here. When now we had our own thing and now we can't go in their fields when they got their fields. We can't go in there. None of the politicians them could go up there when they got the problem with Trump, Russia, Israel. None of them could go up there and tell them how to live. And they got to come there because we look handout. We can't stand up. Whether we leader them weak or strong, they'll vote in hand there. They're not going to come to the decision.
Okay, caller, we do have to take some more calls, but thank you so much for that contribution. Let's move on to this call. Okay, we missed that one. Let's try this one. Good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
Banky, you said that you work in the agriculture industry, I think, for government. Hello, Banky?
Yes, used to.
Yeah. So apparently, I guess you have some knowledge in terms of estate lands and so on. The gentleman just identified some lands in Central Bank, up by Central Bank, and in the area, Nemus area, right? Almost every morning, religiously, I go for my walk, my exercise studio, and I show my partner vexed with me because I always complaining. What is going on here? All I'm seeing to the side is people dumping the stuff and so on. And I'm saying that, listen, I know talk about the water table and what's not, but I believe they can plant organic stuff and so on and so on. Get some youths and things. I remember there was a doctor on, I can't remember his name, he used to work in agriculture. And I asked him about those lands, who own them? And he said, well, government. I said, but why are they just sit down like that? He said, well, we have plans for it. We have a plan, back. But I'm saying, I walk through there under Labour, I walk through there under Unity, and now I'm walking through there under Labour again. And it seems, I don't know why they don't do something about it. I am not in the kitchen. I'm not. But come on, man. I think, in my opinion, I believe things can plan here. You're talking about, Nubian speak about the limes, lime trees, and those stuff and so on. I mean, you know, we can sustain ourselves, we can feed ourselves. In my opinion, as the gentleman said, I remember back then you had NACO, you had the planting watermelon, nuts, and all these things in the areas. But I don't know. What's his name again? Banky. I don't know what you will say about that. I'm waiting to hear your thing on that.
Okay, caller, thanks for your contribution. Let's take this call. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Jamie, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I'm here listening to you all, and I'm so agree with the first caller, John Paul. The government ain't serious about agriculture at all. Because if they're really serious about agriculture, we the people, especially in livestock, will not be suffering. We suffer, livestock farmers suffering, and ground farmers suffering because the government ain't serious. The government is doing just campaign from one election to the next election. They just campaign, as far as I'm concerned. Every time the Prime Minister gets on the media, he campaign. And that ain't good for the people, especially people who went out and elect this government. You understand? It ain't good for the people at all. Nothing is happening in agriculture. Nothing at all is happening. Farmers are suffering. And everything is just house going from mountain to sea. Suppose we had a pandemic the other day, and the boat could have come to our shores to bring food. You know? Suppose something else happen again. And the boat will come to our shores at all. What we going to eat? Who going to feed us? It's saying the farmers them supposed to feed us? But no. Every minute talking about this going to happen, that going to do, that going to do, and nothing is doing. Lubian, do you realize that the election coming up soon? I made to understand you're going to run, for the People's Action Movement. And I hope you're aware of what's going on. Election coming up soon. As far as I can, so it look like I'm calling this year. Because I see them round and round campaigning. They promise us all kind of things when they get in. And nothing is delivering. Nothing at all is delivering to the people. Especially the ordinary people in the village and all those things. What's happening? Young men and young girls up and down a cut grass. Up and down a rake up grass and other things. Suppose they try to empower these young people to learn a trade, learn a skill. You understand? The peace program, they say when they get in, they're going to do this and do that. They criticize it. When they get in, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. They call it elevate. But as far as I'm concerned, they're elevating people to do a lot of smoke, thief, and do all kind of things. That's what we see them elevate people to do. Continue the same thing. When the farmer administration was doing well with the peace program, because a lot of these young men got their own business after the peace program when the unity was there. You understand? Listen, I'm not against us our young people work and make money, but I want to see our young people with a skill. With a skill, not cut grass. And people coming in the country and getting the skill and getting the good job. That is what I want to see for my people, especially our young men and young boys and girls, to just come out of school and they ain't got much. Let them learn something. If you walk around the whole country, you see all kind of young girls, up and down with machete in the hand and rake in the hand, cutting grass. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. May God bless this country.
Yeah, you're very, very correct. I just had to ask my co-host a question because just the other day a young lady told me that the mutton that comes from Antigua tastes different to the mutton that we have here in St. Kitts. And that for me was shocking. Shocking. When I tell you, I was blown away because how much Buster's been knocking on the goat and sheep them on the road another time. And there is
does it taste different?
There is a demand. No, it wasn't the fact that there's a difference in the taste.
Of course.
What
important.
The difference for me, what the salient point for me was is that
we
importing mutton from Antigua, and we have far better soil, far better foliage down here than Antigua. But Antigua seems to be better prepared to handle the local demand and export. You understand? And we here in St. Kitts, with better soil, with all the necessary things to hand, and we can't fulfill our demands here. But what is the problem?
Yes. Because we cannot, and I know this is quote-unquote traditional farming, but we cannot continue to farm animals by letting them go and roam up and down the streets. We cannot continue to do that.
If you're going to be doing,
I agree with you.
If you're going to be doing farming, so you have, I did a model when I was at the department, and a 2-acre model when it comes to animal, small ruminants like goat and sheep, where you build a pen.
Exactly.
And you do intense farming. So you have the animals, so you set it up into 1/4-acre lots, and you can have some for foraging and you take the animals, but you have them penned and you cut and feed.
Exactly.
So they put on the weight. Quickly, you see what I mean? And then you have, every 9-11 months, you're going to sell a card and keep at least 300 heads at the time. So you keep every week, you're selling 10, 15, 20, 30 heads, however you choose to. But here, most small ruminants are as a business. They just sell some when they want something coming up, activity.
During the Christmas
times.
Yeah. I want to buy a fridge or stove and you sell a couple.
It's just like...
And then you're inbreeding and you're doing all kind of things. Yes. So the quality of your animals decreases.
It's intense
we're
farming.
We're not improving the genetics of our animals.
You know how we go?
Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Miss Madam Moderator.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Obian. Good afternoon, Ronald King Banky. We are helpful here. DJ Woodis.
Good afternoon.
Greetings, Woodis.
Rastaman in St. Kitts Nevis get weak. We need to start to march again. Because imagine music festival just gone. They give us a section that we could smoke, but now they're still telling you can't plant no weed. So where you get the weed from?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that is one. Two, understand me? If you as a Rastaman want to plant 5 trees in a year, you got to go to the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs, people who don't smoke, and tell you how to smoke, how much weed you should smoke. Rastaman need to start
It's above the smoke. It's not the smoke. Think above the smoke for your medicinal use, but it's making it's beyond the smoke.
But hear what I'm saying? Rastan Corporate take them to court for our own sacrament and our own smoking. Now they turn it around on us now because they could make money with it now and say, oh, for medicinal use, and if you want to plant 5 trees in your yard, you got to go to them. Understand me? To beg a little permit to plant 5 trees in your yard. That makes sense. Rastaman them in St. Kitts Nevis, I need to start to march again, peaceful protest, take them back to court. And I'm out.
Thank
So,
you
bless
so
up.
much
You give thanks for that.
contribution. But yeah, we're not serious as farmers either. And then sometimes we're gonna talk about the government and whatever. But what happened to us?
Yeah.
Why we can't do our own research and say, but listen, this is what I want to do, and we're gonna organize the thing.
Correct.
But Jamie,
but you see, a lot of times what happens is that we just be our own worst enemy. We just fight down things that is for our personal benefit, our economic benefit, and choose to fight against Banky and not fight against all the imports that coming in.
Definitely.
I prefer to see Banky. I prefer to see me and Banky without nothing going on with farm unless somebody else make it.
No.
Who already have money.
Yeah.
Wait, Banky, go ahead. Say what you wanted to say.
No, I was just gonna say what's happening right now when it comes to the arrest and stuff. It definitely the premier himself gonna have to come out and speak to the commissioner itself.
Right.
The PM himself, they're gonna have to have a moratorium where they just have a lay or just suppress and stop locking up people. What is in St. Kitts or in Nevis, just period, just leave that alone because we're moving into an industry. And if you want your young people to get involved and to have the training, they need to put in the years of experience to get it done.
Remember, they squashed the records of persons.
Yes,
right.
of course.
With charges,
of course, yes.
Offenses, right.
So you squash the records and you create more records. Make it make sense. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon. Just a couple of comments on this licensing for cannabis. In my view, it's enabling colonialism. The prices of the cost of licensing is going to prohibit the vast majority of nationals from getting involved. Therefore, it's only the very wealthy in St. Kitts and Nevis and wealthy foreigners who will do it. And the other thing is, the government is being very short-sighted in that they only will get the revenue from the license. They won't get revenue from production. My suggestion would be lower the license rate so that you enable local farmers to be involved, and then charge 25% VAT, and the government will get residual income on the back, and that will be long-term income. The next thing is, we keep saying, oh, well, we need to bring in foreign experts, the Canadians. Well, how did those Canadians become experts? When they started, they weren't experts, They got expertise by doing it. So why won't we allow our nationals to become experts by doing it? Because don't forget, the guy who's most successful, everybody going to copy him, and everybody will become experts by osmosis. So we rely far too much on foreigners, and it's almost as though the legislation is designed to exclude locals and include only foreign investment. There's one final thing. If you're going to get foreign investment in a local industry like that, just pass a law and say that there must be 55% local ownership. That way, locals benefit through the industry. If you're going to come in with money to invest, find a local partner. make sure they have 55% of the company, control is local. That's enough.
Okay, caller, thank you so much. And that's the same thing that I was alluding to, because it seems like we want to cut locals out of the market.
What the caller just said there is that they're only going to make money off the licensing, but like in the agriculture, in the marine area, when they're going to take out conchs, lobster, fish, at the department, I'm not sure in Sing, but in Nevis, they'll charge you like probably 10 cents per pound, and something like that. So the same thing could, or like I can give them an idea similar with the cannabis. When they're shipping up, so you go 400 or 500 pounds of weed, and you're going to ship it to Germany. Well, it's something like that when they're shipping out, they can put on maybe $5 per pound, whatever, and actually get income in other ways too. Because it is done within.
So you get the income on the back end
and
without
the weight.
breaking the backs of
yes.
the farmer who just wants to start.
Yes, because numbers will add up the same way. So if you're taking out the fish, so shipping out the product, they can have a number on each pound, whatever it is, the same. So the government still benefit half of the numbers that been shipped overseas.
No, to me, this is not rocket science.
Yes.
And this is something, based on what the gentleman was saying, this is something that we are accustomed
Of
to
course.
doing. We have done this in the past. So again, why is there a disconnect and why can't we get it started? Because I don't know. Every time I hear about certain topics and things, I'm like, yeah, here we go again. Simple. Whenever I hear about certain topics and I hear certain words, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to talk and it's going to sound good and we ain't going to do nothing.
Because if people call me all the time, you're traveling to bring in seeds, they hold it at the port. Because there's not even something in place for agriculture department where cannabis seeds come in. Because seed is not illegal, but of course they would still hold them.
It's vegetable material.
Yeah, but they would still hold your cannabis seed because it's still taboo, and then it's not clear at the port.
But don't they hold all seeds though?
Well, they would hold all seed, but in general, but the cannabis seed itself, even if there's something, even if they hold it and you go to agriculture, it will still have some hiccups here and there, and then even in Nevis, quarantine is not even a part of the discussion when it comes to seeds. So you're in Nevis bringing seeds, quarantine, going to say, well, I can't allow them to pass, because that discussion have not been held in Nevis at no point, period.
Yeah.
So you see, St. Kitts have a little leeway, but Nevis is just at stagnant. So you see what happened in so St. Kitts doing the thing, but Nevis is like getting the punishment more or less. And that is the issue. I really don't want these young men to keep getting $15,000, $20,000 fine. It's really not
exactly. And for a young man to pay $20,000 is crazy.
And even seedlings are charging you for the roots of the plant. They're just taking up the roots of the plant, throwing up on one scale, and that's it. They're charging for the bush, the dot, and the everything. Yeah, they're not separate nothing. So that when it's a male plant, a hermaphrodite, the man no, it's not.
A plant is a plant, and you're getting locked up for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
more conversations needed to be had.
Yeah.
More conversations.
Maybe there needs to be a workshop or something with the police force.
That's why I said the right persons need to be at the table.
Yes.
And instructions given. Because if, as go back to what Banky said, go back to what I said, go back to what you just said. If this is an industry that we're trying to build out, then why are we still?
It's like we're fighting against ourselves.
But that is the whole point. Yeah. And then they'll come down in Nevis, going on the beach, Penny's Beach. They'll block off the road and then rush down on the beach, going on the different beach bars, sunshine, different areas for anyone to see smoking. But it is not just about people smoke cigarette, tobacco, so it should not be about smoking cannabis and then
knocking them out. So they're not knocking off people who smoking cigarettes?
Because everything is, the mindset is still there. They have an issue with cannabis. And then, if there's a labo for smoking, it should be smoking in general across the board. You can go to a restaurant and you want a smoking area to sit and eat. It should be like that. You just can't still stereotyping the cannabis plant.
Because smoking is smoking.
That's the whole point. Because the government is moving within an industry. So education is really key, and we're not doing it.
And I can guarantee when they go on the beach, they're locking up locals.
Well, that's what
they're
that's
locking up
well, of
none
course.
of the people who are there
No,
on holiday.
But it's local targeting. That is the whole point. But remember, locals here who consider themselves local don't look like me and you. They're not getting harassed. Because it's not just local people here going cannabis.
Also, it's black people.
Well, that's the whole point. You see,
so let's just be fair. So it's black people we're harassing.
Your own indigenous people, which don't make no sense. But this is something that really need to be addressed. Where the High Command really need to. He's in charge of the Federation, not just in St. Kitts part, but he should transfer the information over on the Nevis and also where to suppress the locking up and charging These young guys, you're going out and you're going to charge them $18,000, $10,000, $20,000. And this is a lot of people. There's more than 10, 15 people I know just keep getting locked up. Different people throughout, the island, in town, in the country, it's just all over. And it is not right.
Let's take this final call. Good afternoon, you're live.
Me come to create God work you the miracles for me by. Good afternoon.
Yes, definitely.
Cash right.
Good afternoon.
How come Cash right is not farming? They bring agriculture department in, bring the bulldozer up on my farm, push down my fencing, drip lines and all these things involved. Over a mile in pipes. Over $100,000 invest in my farm. But the Minister of Agriculture, he got his farm. It's too such a money he bringing in. He got his weekly money from his farm and his monthly money from...
For the record, I did not touch anything.
God, drop out, man. He drop out.
Yeah, you're saying it's still
it's
online,
still
right?
there. Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, but that was our final call for this afternoon. Novian, that's a reminder.
Let's take one more. So we got about 3 more calls.
Okay.
We choose one.
Well, 2. Let's try this one. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon. I tell you in Rubian that the people think it will nervous, especially to the people. And that's why I've got about a long time. The people ain't serious about the animal. When I was growing up, they had pounds. And if you see when a cattle get away or goat get away, how people want to get them, people get friends, family, help to get animal. Anywhere you go now, you see animal. I go shadow every morning, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Cattle living in a people yard. I hear people calling and say, talk about it, and nobody do nothing. They're supposed to go around and phone them. And if they come with them, you kill them, give the children home and hospital. That's what you got to do. They got more vehicle running in place now before. They're going to vehicle. Kill themselves. Man go kill themselves with a vehicle, and man go kill animal. Talk on how you kill them, you could dead the same way. You understand? You see them all in the road and lie down when you go in Shadwell. When you cross, over the road to go Shadwell. People ain't care to the about they don't love animals, they ain't got no love for animals. Just so the government, they ain't got no love for the people ain't got no love for animals. I know that. I know just man, I see that. I know when man used to catch animal and go get people to just say, come help me catch me cattle, come help me catch me this, come help me. You understand? And all that not happen now. Man love the animal up the path, and the animal either come back or sleep somewhere else. So man go keep on animals by government and people, so my people are like. All right, all the best.
Thank you so much, caller, for that contribution. It's a problem. It is a problem, a serious issue, and nobody gonna tell me that you care about your animals and you're gonna just let them roam. Nobody.
Well, you see, it's. I wouldn't go so far and say they didn't care about the animals. It has been something that has been accepted for a long time.
But the man was just saying that traditionally people used to go and look for their animals.
Yeah.
What happening now is a lot of people just tying out their animals and they're not looking for them. Yeah. So the animals looking for food, they're looking for water. That's why they're roaming, right? How you just tie out an animal and don't look back?
Yeah. It needs structuring. Agriculture could provide a lot of opportunities for our people, lower our food import bill, provide job opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities. Yeah. It could provide opportunities for the creatives, and because there's new marketing strategy, there's new ways to sell your stuff online. You could get our people to go out there and find markets. As I say, ornamental trees, ornamental aquarium fishes, ornamental aquarium birds. There's a market for it, but we are not empowering our people enough to go out there and put ourselves out there to provide those opportunities.
We need to. We were speaking about some of the products that he offers, right? Yes. Simple things, right, that he is doing. So if Banky could do it, why we can't do it?
Listen, while we here talking, right, somebody text me on WhatsApp and say, Nobia, don't forget about Allah's and Southside Bush.
Of course.
I remember being in a supermarket in Philadelphia and soursop bush
Mango
on
leaves,
sale. Mango leaves on sale.
Yes.
Aloes, you could go and buy a leaf of aloes at the store. So 10 US for a leaf of aloes in the store.
That's $27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get our people to open a few aloes farm and set that link out there for them so that they could export and feed the family and feed themselves? I would tell you, our leaders are not serious about the development of this country. Our leaders are not serious about pushing our youths forward. What the youths them do, 90% of the youth and what they're doing in St. Kitts isn't successful in the truest sense.
A gentleman spoke about the land over there on the Kings Holland Highway. Beautiful land. Every time I pass that area, we have the agriculture where the Taiwanese had turned over to. Beautiful land. Those land could be in food orchard, coconut trees, mango trees, avocado.
Yeah.
Because you just have to have integrated farming that is done without any dangerous chemicals and stuff like that.
And
Because
that's
of
the
the water
kind
table.
of farming that we want.
And that is what you want.
Exactly.
And without, depleting the water table in a sense like that, contaminating it. So
And
it's just to
without
structure.
poisoning us
Yes,
to
it's just
our
to structure
food.
things and turn it into a food orchard park. And
that's what I was just going to say. You turn it into a park like that where you could come, sit down with your family and go and pick man support and go and pick a few stinking toe and go and pick a few jelly, they might have
But then you see there's a
soursop
situation
trees.
where you have agriculture don't own some of the land, and some of that is all the sustainable development. So each department fighting for this
And
land.
some is
and
under
don't-
environment.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that is all a problem. And then there's no land that is really earmarked specifically. So where is it for agriculture, both in St. Kitts and Nevis? So if we're going to be serious about these things, where is the policy, the 10, 20-year policy?
And that's a serious issue.
That is there.
Because you know what's happening too? A lot of times people speak about animals and that kind of thing too. And I'm going to kind of step back on what I said about some of the farmers. Because while these are residential areas, they were not always residential areas.
Yes.
And the farmers used to use these areas
Of course.
all
For grazing.
the time.
Yeah.
Now we're in a situation where we keep pushing back the farmers,
Yes.
right? So
The farming going to have to be unique, where you're going to have guys is X amount of land.
because
Even-
everybody want a house.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
we have to eat too.
We're going to eat too, so you have to have land designated,
you-
and the farming system have to change. Where yes, you might need one cow might need an acre of land to graze, but then if you don't have the required amount of land, it's easier to downsize and then you cut and feed.
Yes.
You just got to be smart about when it comes to doing
Yes.
things. These are not new, no old models,
But you see,
And it's not
what-
rocket science because the information is
Let me add this
there.
inside there. When we was at Southern University, they have some crossbreed with the Braham and the Zibo monster animal, 2,500 pounds. These people are willing to come down here and train your farmers and give them different genetics. This is nothing new,
Right.
They don't want to pass. Southern University is a historically black college. You understand? It's the only one of its kind as a system, because it's about 5 different systems within Louisiana itself.
So why aren't we taking?
You're not ask Jamie. It's
But
just to ask,
it's just asking. But outside of that,
That's
you're
a
right.
simple-
We just spoke.
Being a farmer, but how I could know that how you raise goat and sheep?
But it goes back.
You just
it
have
goes,
to be interested.
It goes back to the same point. If a farmer was traditionally having his animal grazing in Pine Garden, and now Pine Garden is filled with houses, what do we do? Because it can continue,
Of course.
So what do we do? And for me, if I was the Minister of Agriculture, what I would do is offer you land somewhere.
of course,
That's one. That's the first initiative I would do.
Yes.
And the second is to provide some sort of housing solution on that land so that you could become a full-time animal farmer.
And
So
not
that-
just that, but
Because
give you the
when
give
you're
you
going to go
grants to build
That's the whole
the bands and all of that that you need.
Right, because if I am working at TDC from 8 to 4, and I gotta come home at 4 o'clock to cut grass to feed me animals, all them gone dead. All of them will die. So I need the ability to live and work on my farm. What I want the government to do is to provide the opportunity for me to get that they are done in the correct space. Provide me the opportunities. All I need. put the correct policies in place, put the correct market strategies in place, and allow me to farm. I am a farmer, allow me to farm. Even if I got open back Simako, and allow me to farm. Allow me to make a living, allow me to take care of my children, allow me to leave this inheritance for the generations to come, and allow me to be an example, most importantly, because as you rightly said, none of our young children, let me not say none, most of our children don't want to become farmers because the farmers is the dirtiest set out there alongside the drain cleaners.
That's how they look at it.
That's how they look at it, but that is what is seen.
No,
but
that's not the
tell
case.
me a farmer that has tell me a farmer that have a Range Rover. Yes. Tell me a farmer that drives a Mercedes Benz.
There is somewhat of a historical context with that, because as Kittians, we see farming. Farming reminds us of the cane fields.
Yes,
slavery,
of course.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
And we don't want. Many of us don't
Yes.
see the potential because we don't want to go back there.
Yes.
Right. But this is not talking about. This is something completely different. We are removing the colonial aspect.
Yes.
We are talking about land ownership,
Yes.
Right.
building generational wealth. So you were working in the cane field, but there wasn't a lot of upward mobility.
Right.
But when you own it,
You're working for yourself.
it's
Yes.
yours.
Yes.
Right? And you can see the transformation with your children from generation to generation, and that is what we need.
Yes.
Exactly. Even if you look at the Tabasco farm, it's what, on 100 acres?
More.
I believe it's somewhere thereabout. We could have provided opportunities for 5 youngsters, farmers, to do avocado or limes, and already run the numbers on those. And provide the market.
But the limes part of it, when it comes to citrus, there's two diseases on the island, the citrus green and the canker.
What are we doing with that?
You will have to get us a new germplasm. You'll have to get rid of all the citrus that is on the island. Get rid, and then bring in a new culture.
Okay.
And build back out the industry.
Because we
These are
have
things
to
can
do
be done.
something
But
about
that's what I
We
said.
can't just be sitting there saying, but there's a pest.
Yes, a lot of pests around.
But what we gonna do? We gonna just leave them?
That's the whole
Listen,
point.
you could ask for help.
These are easy things.
Listen, there is, and the people who are listening can go and look at it. It's called shrimp in a box. It's a Mexican technology. You could live in the heart of the desert, and they could teach you how to grow shrimp, saltwater shrimp in a 40-foot container. And the numbers are there to prove how much money you could make from shrimp in a 40-foot container. So even if you live up in Monkey Hill,
Yes.
you
Far
could
from
have
the sea.
far from the sea, you could have 12 40-foot containers growing shrimp all the way up in Monkey Hill, up by Stacey Hobson House up there on the side of the hill, and generate an
Of
income.
course.
You could have a shrimp farm
technology
that
is
far,
there. The technology
but
is
we are a coastal island,
Yes.
so we have all that nice coast there that we could encourage our youths. We could just all the youths that want is the opportunity.
CMOS farming.
Of
We were
course.
talking about that. What happened
Oh,
to that?
those are the technologies there. They're not. These are things that have been done in Navy. They use ropes. Just find the areas in calm area and put them out. Jamie,
They farm
we
mussels
just-
like that in New Zealand too.
yeah,
with the
we're
ropes.
just repeating stuff. Just so we take tourism and we find all the resources and we find all the shares to invest when the investors come when they come to the tourism sector.
When they come with an idea.
Well, we're not talking idea. We know these are tangible. These are your people who you know is into these industries. Invest in your people. Farmers are not beggars, you know. I would like to access a couple $100,000 to invest and develop. I want to go into agro-processing and hire more people. I would like to plant at least 20 acres of avocados, along with other mango trees and
Yes,
different
man.
stuff, and then go into agro-processing. Can the demand is there, no? And you
Of
have my
course.
whole shop stacked with all my own brands of stuff. So when you come, I can go sorrel all year round, dry the sorrel in the dehydrator, and package it. I still have sorrel. When I go pick some sorrel, not much, come just down. But I still have sorrel I can pick. I'm drinking sorrel still. So it's not like you can't go sorrel all year round.
There's a lady in St. Peter's going to all year
Yes,
round.
it's just the
Yeah.
resources.
Yeah.
So in order to make it right, we always see it right now. The individual going to just have to, and those who are serious about it, going to have to just invest in themselves because we're really not getting this support. And
No.
you can't go and access $100,000 for me is nothing. For a farmer to invest is nothing because they can't even buy a proper vehicle. Machineries.
Listen,
We got to see farming.
that was done in 15 minutes.
Yes.
And especially if you're trying to access organic fertilizer,
Everything.
organic pesticide,
Drip
which
system,
costs
everything.
which costs 4 or 5 times
Of
more
course.
the regular pesticide.
Yes.
And because something you can buy it online and you ain't want to buy one bottle, and by the time you're done you buy a next bottle, you might buy 4 or 5 gallon jugs.
Yes.
So that you could have it for the rest of the year and it won't cost you that much. I mean, $100,000 you could burn through $100,000 in 15 minutes.
Not even 50 minutes. But gentlemen, we are out of time. So, Banky, I want to thank you so much again for coming and spending your afternoon with us, because I know that it came as a sacrifice.
Of course.
But, Nubian, we would like to have him back, right?
Yes,
Anytime.
because the lines were going off and off and off and off and off, and I sure there were 2/3 of the people that were calling that didn't get to talk to you. You know, they just want to talk to you.
Yes.
So, I don't know if
And
next month.
agriculture is always a hot topic.
When is Agriculture Day in Nevis?
The end of the last Thursday and Friday of March, the last 26th and 27th. I'll definitely be taking part of there. I'll have a cannabis display. And also this evening on my show, the topics on Will Entertainment Network and YouTube and Facebook, we'll have the CEO, Mr. Mills. This evening we're speaking on cannabis. Continue the conversation this evening at 8 o'clock, so they can tune in on that also.
Definitely.
But I
Right.
definitely enjoy the reasoning here as usual, you know what I mean? So just call me, I'll come back anytime, that's not a problem. It's always encouraging
Yeah.
to listening to the general public and viewers, and cause we all know better, you know, and we all are of the soil, so we know what it takes. So it's not a guessing game. It's just work along with the technicians, give your people into the sector, the resources, the agro-processors, the fisher folk, even fishing, the demand is too high. The abattoir in Nevis need 20 of each animal every week. You see, 20 of each animal every week. So most of our beef is really coming from Stacia, and sometimes 1 or 2 down here.
Imagine
'Cause
that.
most of the ground beef is just going to ground beef. We don't have enough animals on the island.
Wow.
It's a big sector.
That's-
we need
that's
to
a
invest.
shame.
We don't have enough goat, enough sheep, enough pig. We don't have enough of nothing. And those are the facts.
And what you know what you have enough of? You know we have more than enough of? Unemployed people,
True.
youths on the corner doing nothing. We have too much people there talking with no action. We have leaders out there who don't go and do the research and figure out how to make their particular industry the best. Once you take the job as a leader, your job is to make it better
Of course.
than you met it.
Yes.
It's supposed to go by leaps and bounds. When you go back to the people to say, come vote for me again, you're supposed to be saying, vote for me again because I did X, Y, and Z. Look at all of these new businesses that we have created. Look at all these people that have found employment. Look at our food import bill. Look at this, look at that. Speak about your track record.
Yes.
But I find it's far from that. And as I say, it is something that has been plaguing us for a long time, because I'm guessing it ain't just now within the last 4 years that there's a shortage of animal meat in
No, a long
Nevis.
time, no.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
And
Years
how much of them youths in Nevis out there shooting and killing themselves? None of them want to get into farming. None of them want to be productive.
Of course.
Why we can't initiate and give them a start?
Yeah, youths who are not coming to
Provide the opportunities. Provide a low interest or a no interest loan for them to go to the bank and access some funds.
Yes.
Get into eggs, get into
Because
poultry.
A lot of us gonna sit down and say, "Oh, but why we want to give them their opportunities when I went to school and nobody gave me the opportunity?"
Nonsense.
You know that's how we
Nonsense.
are as a people.
Yeah, but we definitely, if you want.
But when you invest in them,
Yes.
again, we're investing in ourselves.
But that's the whole point.
And that's the part that we're missing badly.
When you have young people want to get involved in agriculture, you have to encourage them, because it's not a sector that most people want to get involved. And especially when it comes to the technology side of it, farming now is totally different. You can have different monitoring system when it comes to technology to watch your stuff. So it's not like the traditional farming where you have to go out and use a hose. You have drip system, you have timers. You see what I mean? You have drones. You have a hydroponic system. You don't know who is a farmer nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's the mind frame we got to come out to. The same thing when it comes to cannabis itself. If we're going to go into an industry, we really got to have our people as being niche, because you're going to need land. I'm bringing in people from outside, they're going to need land. So
We can't be giving away.
Well, you see, they ain't gonna need the land because what can happen now? They set up, they buy a piece of land in industrial side.
Well,
a 20,000, and they could afford it. They could afford 20,000 square foot land, put down a big steel building,
Of course, I got you.
and then they go and clear.
Yes.
A local farmer not gonna want at least 4 acres of land out on the mountainside.
Yes.
But we thank you for being here. Just before I end, I want to big up Camp David. Let me say it properly. Is Camp David Fish Farm in Connery. The man does do.
I hope when you big them up, I gonna cook a fish.
Yes, we're gonna go and check. I don't tell you, we're gonna go and check them. Camp David Fish Farm in Connery and Fedlocks. Fedlocks used to do ornamental fish up there in Newtown. You check. What I would like to see if we could get about 10 persons like those and access the US market, because they're passionate about it. They just get them things there grow. Fish that people don't get reproduce, the man does get them reproduce. You check? And so once we could get our youngsters into productive areas like that where they could export and make money and people could watch and see.
There, you know, because
I'm
they
telling
like
you.
fish.
Yeah.
Right? You ever met a little child that don't like fish?
Exactly. So, and them guys just go, they just travel overseas to get the fish. So once we could set them guys up with the land and set them up with the proper environment and set them up with the proper market, then all we just got to do is leave them and watch them grow. Leave them and watch them grow.
And empower others.
Exactly. And then we just keep the chain effect going where we could just keep putting our youths on the right path.
Okay. So this is how we're going to end Hot Topics for this afternoon.
And vote, Pam. And I don't say it.
No one caught me a little bit off guard. But thank you so much for choosing to spend your afternoon with us. Hot Topics is aired right here on Freedom FM on Tuesdays from around 1:30.
Yes.
Beautiful.